I believe around the world, it's Safer Internet Day. Tell us a bit about why choose this day. It's February 6, 2024, Safer Internet Day. Madam.
Okay, for those who may not be aware, the National ICT Authority annually runs or facilitates a campaign called Safer Internet Day. That campaign annually is held every February. And this year, it's globally commemorated today on the 6th of Feb. The importance of the campaign is to promote really a safer and responsible use of the Internet, and that is really the aim of the commemorative activities that we carry out.
So, Madam, this is throughout the world or Papua New Guinea? So?
Yes, so the campaign is global. In fact, it was initiated in the continent of Europe and has since been adopted by over just under 200 countries, I think, to date so far. And within the region, at the Pacific level, there are many Pacific Island countries that are also part and party to the campaign in observing the aims and objectives of a safer and responsible use of the Internet.
So, in other words, it's important to have this day because we have users at the same time to guidance. Even organizations that provide that avenue as Internet. It's observed throughout the world. At the same time, I believe the objective is important, that to have a safer Internet for users.
Well, I think, Peter, we can all agree that, with the use of the Internet increasing, especially in our country and in our everyday lives, Internet is no longer seen as a luxury but a necessity. And with that comes risks as well, right? Where there's opportunity, there's always a level of risk. And the campaign seeks to, whilst promoting, there is nothing bad about the Internet. It has its positives. But while we take advantage of those positives, we also have to recognize the risks that are there. And also recognize that there are those who are more vulnerable, including children and young people, when they're online.
So, as a country, to celebrate the day, NICTA, I believe, will be in the forefront organizing activities. But I believe all institution organizations are also observing the day. But just specific, if any activities to celebrate the day and raise concerns about the issues facing the issue of safer Internet. Madam.
Okay, so if you have managed to grab a hold of today's dailies, Post and the National, you may have noticed a copy of Minister's press release advocating for the objective of the day, that is safer and responsible use of the Internet. Apart from that, as Mr. Sindra has rightly mentioned, NICTA will be facilitating a few commemorative activities throughout the month of February, which include the key focus for us will be on a student ambassador program, and we have some information and guidance that we will be releasing for parents and caregivers targeting children and young people throughout this month. So keep an eye out next week for the release of the Parents Guide, which we're now in the process of finalizing for publication and release by next week. But Peter, I'd like to share just very briefly about the Student Ambassador Program, which NICTA is running throughout school. So this initially started out as a pilot project, if you like, last year, under last year's campaign. And the intent of the targeting students and especially children at that age level was to address key issues that we're seeing affecting young people. And, these issues that I'm going to mention are not necessarily unique to these people, but the emphasis is there simply because of their being vulnerable, right, and naive. So some of the key issues and the most common things that we've observed that affect children and students include cyberbullying, access to inappropriate content, their privacy and security, online security being compromised. Addiction and distraction is another common theme for those who have access to technology. Online predators, online grooming, as well as protecting their digital footprint or their reputation while online. So these are some common issues that we are hoping to at least try to raise more awareness on and sensitize especially this particular age group in trying to help them change their attitudes towards and especially their behaviors when it comes to risky attitudes online.
Okay, just taking back, I mean, you mentioned the issues of concern, especially the student ambassador program targeting to address those issues like also we talked about bullying and inappropriate, well, not only words but what that goes on the internet and viewing by our students. That in itself will have an impact on their life, especially in their education. Now, as NICTA, as the organization, I believe will be in the forefront in making sure that we have a safer internet for users, especially all Pikini Madam, really for PNG, I believe your concern and as much as parents, students throughout our country, Papua New Guinea, is that internet am good lah, but challenge belong this like that you will like by safer, in other words, or Pikini they're learning through their education, they can use the internet also, but then this is a concern. So as NICTA, I believe will be the one in the forefront. Have you do some research or to again see that this is a concern and this is really having an impact on our society, especially our children. If you walk by them out, and then that this is the issue, this is the concern, we'll address that.
Thank you. That's a very important point. Research and data, after all, support evidence-based rulemaking, right? In terms of where people's welfare is concerned. Where the issue of understanding the perceptions and attitudes of this very vulnerable group that we're referring to, children and young people, maybe related groups including their parents, caregivers, adults. For now, we haven't carried out any formal research studies. The interventions that we carry out are mainly based on general observations of the trends we observe happening, emerging issues, and how those issues tend to impact users of the internet, especially the more vulnerable people online. But through the upcoming workshop this month, we will be carrying out a research activity to better understand what are some critical issues that are being experienced by children. So that will then inform our future work on tailoring our interventions to be more relevant and to address, the issues that we are aware of that are being experienced.
The talk of the challenge, I mean, you heard him, or we witnessed the Black Wednesday, the 10th of January. The thing have been pointing to that our population, especially the residents of Port Moresby, be access to this opportunity, Facebook and others. Then the government did been responsible, but then the thought of that we as a nation, as a country, Papua New Guinea, looking at the advantage of having such technology, but then at the same time that we, the users, have to be responsible. But then, Madam, In other countries, only got or low blown sampler where they only stop it. You don't have access to such opportunity or internet service. As a country, being responsible a country, but such situation will come up, that is pose a challenge to us providing that avenue, but us end users being responsible. Is this a concept?
Yeah, of course. I think, Peter, we all have rights, right? And with those rights come responsibilities. That is something that should be taken seriously, because when you are online or offline, in any case, we have to be accountable for our actions and our decisions. And to make reference to what you have said for the events that came around from Black Wednesday, we can see that at that time, as a reflection, there was a lot of information that was being disseminated, and as in that moment when there's probably anxiety and panic and fear might be high, how do you and I, as people who are concerned for safety of self, safety of family, safety of home, safety of property, when you're in that state, it can be a challenge to try to identify information that is genuine compared to non-genuine. And I think one of the main issues I'd like to touch on at this point is the importance of critical thinking. Critical thinking is important, and it is a skill that allows you to weigh out information, weigh out and assess information, assess what the potential consequences could be as a result of what that information is trying to persuade or influence you to do, and then assessing where your level of accountability stands in that as a result of you taking action on that. And so that is something that I feel probably needs a lot more awareness on to our communities. The need for critical thinking.
Is it awareness of critical thinking, or me just think that's all that education that our population, citizens, education comes in the factor here. That when you have that knowledge, then you can really critically thinking. We as a Papua, I believe it's a question that our education system, so that we are exposed, that we are exposed to information, but we can critically work more thinking. At the moment, to me, critical thinking, but then the person has to be in that position so that he or she can make the critical thinking. I look back that I think education is that you may have to have literate society.
Yeah. I think, Peter, I went online, in fact, and I was just doing some research on studies that have been carried out. I was just trying to understand the phenomenon behind how people try to rationalize and reason out, trying to act on information. And the information I came across was the findings I came across were quite interesting. It said that, it's most likely that people who are at a certain level of education are more inclined to exercise, critical thinking, and therefore reduce the amount of misinformation, that could potentially be disseminated online. Whereas those who aren't, of course, are not aware that, of how to judge whether that information or source of information is genuine or not, whether it's from an established authority or a source that is not an established authority. So those levels of comparison between those two, between those categories of people, was something that the findings of the studies I read pointed out as well.
Now going back, today is February 6, 2024, and internationally it's a Safer Internet Day. Now, just looking at the day itself, as it's called, Safer Internet Day, I believe the question could be that yeah, it is the internet that we are using, the tool that we are using. Bit benefit is that could be education, could be business, could be sharing of information. It is providing that safer internet, and then you alluded to say it can also have impact on our children when we have information there. It can be that they're using as bullying, cyberbullying, and even all picture way no go plau or lunar plau or something will come up. I believe the challenge for us is to provide that internet that it's safe for our children, for our community, for our population.
And that is a priority for NICTA and the government as well, to ensure that people are fully benefiting from the positives of the internet, because after all, the internet is a source that we can gain value from, right, in order to improve our lives. And just coming back to the risks and the challenges that we face while online, it is equally important that this such awareness around Safer Internet Day is being pushed out to the community, so that everyone recognizes that as long as they can recognize the red flags, they can recognize the dangers, then they're better able to protect themselves and mitigate any risks coming to them.
Now, going back to the Students Ambassador Program, I believe also you talked, Minister, NICTA will be in the forefront carrying out that program. You'll be targeting, schools, colleges, universities, not only in towns and cities, but throughout the country, Papua New Guinea.
So the ambassador program is run throughout the 4 main regions. For now, we are carrying out the program with schools within Portman Central for Southern, Morobe for the Momase, East New Britain for the NGI region, as well as Western Highlands and Jiwaka for the Highlands region. So throughout the 4 regions, we have 19 schools in total that have been involved from this, and this started from our pilot project last year. So last year we had a total of 100 students across all 19 schools participate as ambassadors, and we've come to a point where we're trying to focus on get to a level or a point where the students can sort of self-sustain that program at the school level with the help of the school administrations, by training up-and-coming ambassadors to help keep that awareness going at the level of peers.
So apart from the Student Ambassador Program, NICTA, are there other activities that you also embarking on to help to that provide information on internet, safer internet day, but also that we, the users, also be responsible?
Yes, so we'll be carrying out various awareness activities, including sessions like this on radio, not only here at the HQ, but throughout at the provincial NBC radios as well, hoping to target our rural populace. And as the Minister has said it very well in an earlier session here, radio is a very critical and trusted source of information, and one where information like this should be disseminated upon. I think the focus is on radio because not everyone is connected online. There are those who still do not have access to the internet, and therefore radio as a medium serves as that source of information where they can easily glean knowledge from to help themselves.
Listeners, viewers, staff of the Below Studio and Manager, Consumer Affairs, Wantem NICTA, Amlo Madam Andri Rauga, Paru Nonkas, Miblo Tok Safer Internet Day, 2024, June 6, February 6, 2024. Now, the education of our children is important, and as we said, internet also provide that avenue for students, for source of information, education, information. That is important, is paramount. Now, parents, we do play a role in making sure that, that they use that opportunity for them, for their education. I believe that is also a concern. That is also, apart from your student ambassador program, the activities that you alluded to, it's also important to make sure that our parents also have, beginning sinan want the mobile na go, but when something involved, watch him or when something involved, read him all this lah. And that is, I believe, in our country is also that important, because they have an impact on the education of our children, and at the same time to have a literate society. Education, all go to school, the process, all PDC, that through they gain whatever the knowledge on it, but sidetrack, and this is again, I believe, as myself as a parent, is a concern on the use of mobile, the use of internet, especially our children.
Yeah, so we have one of our key target audiences under the campaign are parents and caregivers. We're disseminating information in the form of a parent's guide. And respectfully, Peter, there are parents who, so there are two types of, there's two sides of the fence. Those parents who are okay with their children having access to phones and the internet, and those who aren't. And respectfully, we advocate that because of the growing risks and peer influence between amongst children, online supervision is important for parents. This is at the family setting I'm now talking about. It's important that as parents, we are proactive with our children to talk to them about not only what our concerns are, but to take an interest in what they're doing online, find out who they're connected with, why they're connected with that person, for what purpose they're connected with that person, encourage them or teach them how to block people that they're not supposed to be in contact with, secure their account settings if you're someone who allows your child to be online through social media accounts. But the point here is that we are proactive in being aware of what our children are actually doing online, like you have said. The emphasis is on children because children don't know any better. And as parents, we have that duty and responsibility to ensure that, just as we keep them safe in a physical home, we also need to have that duty and care of keeping them safe online as well.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk along Safer Internet Day, 2024, 6th of February, and Wantapilo Studio is the Manager Consumer Affairs with NICTA, Andriaga Paru Nonkas. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk more on Safer Internet Day 2024.
Celebrating 50 years of broadcasting in PNG, the voice and image of Papua New Guinea.
The news in brief, I'm Justin Keeley.
Good afternoon, Papua New Guinea. The Mafu Kapera with the NBC National News.
Hello, this is today's edition of Peace in the Home to Peace in the World.
Wednesday Night Radio on NBC. You'll be with me, Richard Kita, right up till 12 midnight.
Or with you on NBC Radio, Real PNG.
NBC, Real PNG.
With the voice and the image of the nation, we are NBC.
NBC National Radio, the only one then and still the one.
90.7 FM.
Yeah, welcome back. As me talk, Wantapilo Studio. Today, viewers, listeners of Shinosabe, it's Safer Internet Day, celebrated not only in PNG, but throughout our world. 6th of February, celebrated throughout the world. Safer Internet Day. I believe the intent and objective is that this technology, before Nogad Yumikat Radio, Yumikat Odisla, but now this information technology the era where we plenty in business. We use internet for doing business and also for us for interaction, communication. Madam, as you said, the importance of parents making to provide that avenue, they're taking their responsibility so that their children, our children, that they are better equipped knowledge of what best they can do, utilize using internet. Now, as we talk, is still a concern. Cybercrime, that to me comes to mind. And in PNG, there have been reports, there have been even court case. All talk of defamation of this character, not to all another that goes with it. And at length, people have discussed, community have discussed, even we media have discussed. This is a concern, and how best we can address it. And having a safer internet, is that the authorities involved all to make sure that this pathway is safe. Now we're talking about the internet. This concern, this is a real issue in our country. Dr. Long, cybercrime, all this. It's really an issue in our country. Maybe you just touched on it, because in the end of the day, we should have a safer internet, because we have this a category of society that are using the media, using the internet for such reason. As an organization, NICTA, you are aware of this, I know, but then it's a concern. But we really need to address it as a nation, as a country. Madam.
Yes, as Mr. Sindra has pointed out, cybercrime is a growing concern, and we have the Cybercrime Code Act 2016. So that act actually defines what a cybercrime is. And as we've noted through the public media news articles that have been released, you can read about people who are held accountable. So we talk about cybercrime because of now we're coming to the consequences of our behavior online, and that consequence is tied to you and I having to be held accountable for how we conduct ourselves online. I've noted recently in a series of newspaper articles that were published in the newspapers that there was some very informative, there was some very good information that was released from the cybercrime unit in terms of the issues and the cases that they have been handling and what they're seeing as emerging concerns. But they touched on an issue called sextortion, I believe it was. Sextortion and scams. Of course, scams are something that are ongoing. So as part of the Safer Internet Day campaign, NICTA stands in solidarity with the key stakeholders, supporters of the campaign, including the RPNGC through its cybercrime unit. So the NICTA and the cybercrime unit usually go out and carry out awareness on these and other issues that are affecting our people, on how to identify what they are and how to avoid them. So sextortion, scams, and online grooming, image-based abuse, those were just a few of the issues I think that were referenced in the news articles that I read. Quite concerning, but you can see that the cybercrime unit are doing a lot of good work to especially hold people accountable for their actions.
So in other words, we have laws in place, as you said, 2016, but then all organization, you working with the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary or police, and there's also, I know, there's a section, division within the police force that also help to work with you to address, especially when you talk about sextortion, scam, images, all this. As I said, internet, but it's not safe when such happen. That is provide a challenge, and at the same time, two individuals we talk about critical thinking skills. So my question, I mean, if you are the person who's posting this and sex dosing, but me put in picture of this, so by me this I think I believe that could refer to that, and and the image, and then they hold you
accountable.
Accountable, not in the sense of whenever, because of by me so picture of you kind of thing, but then the process in there to help them accountable to such. In PNG, I mean, scam. We talk about scam. They talk about this. You get rich overnight. All this line. Some people have been, spend money, all putting money on this lap, and they lost, the money saving and the money that they have to save for better use whenever they have, being scammed with that. So safer internet day, that is again, I would say, a challenge the U-Plot, so that we provide that. I mean, the only way, the extreme is that you may pass it.
Yeah.
But then we need internet for doing business. We need for interaction. We need internet to plenty of good benefits for them. But then this is a challenge for us as a nation of country, Papua New Guinea, and we have to work together to address it.
Yeah, I think especially when it comes to complaints issues, my very limited experience at NICTA, especially when dealing with complainants, is a lot of them not really aware of where to go for help once they encounter an issue. They're not aware of that cybercrime-related complaints should be registered with the police. I think in the first instance at the OB book at the police station, and you also have people who especially when it comes to fraud, to scams, when they receive a scam SMS, they're more inclined to believe it because of the promise that lies there for a claim to win something. So those are some of the challenges we have to deal with in trying to change people's mindsets and attitudes when it comes to dealing with these risks.
Very true. I have experience, and I know people who are in that category or in that situation. Very sad for Papua. Sometimes I look more go sit down or lost hospital divine or whatever. And this is again scam in the sense that being promised that you put him 10 kina or 100 kina whatever, and then you be getting million, that it goes to internet, that when the such message, we're believing it. We're believing it, and then we get involved. And by the time we know we are poor, we spend all our money, we're poor, and some of us, you may wait to go, and that will never eventuate if you really understand how the economic works. But I believe that's a challenge now, Madam Nonkas. We as a nation, together with stakeholders, like you said, for them to report, we have to do more awareness on that, that people know the office to go and lay their complaint, or who to call, and to go there. But then as a nation, enforcement technology changes, evolve, and you as NICTA, you have this very challenging task to make sure that we address, and to make sure that we do have a safer internet for us users in our country, for our country, development of our country in various sectors. Together we have to do something now. Together to have a better, safe internet. What do as a nation? What do we do?
Yeah, I would think that as a result of all this awareness that we do in partnership with our supporters and partners, we want to, the three main things we want to see are an increased awareness. Self-awareness, awareness of environment, awareness of your choices, awareness of the consequences, awareness of how you're affecting others online. You want to, as soon as you're aware, obviously you want to put that into practice and change, the way you're behaving online, and, change your behavior for the better. After all, we want to achieve a safer and responsible use of the internet. And this change starts with you and I. We have to be the change that we want to see.
Anyway, Lodisla, listeners, viewers, Safer Internet Day is today. Like what Madam Andriauga Aparwahai Nonka said, it starts from you and I. If we are to really have a safer Internet Day, and especially the users, we are the users. And you may even by Yushima, yeah, maybe you can talk with your friends, your family, but it is us using that avenue every day, and to make it safer so that we don't infringe on the rights of others, like sextortion or others. But at the same time, that information is relevant. It's the right information that goes out through the internet. Madam, before I let you go, your final words at this time, as a country, as a world, we celebrate Safer Internet Day.
Thank you. So I'd like to encourage everyone today to take a moment to reflect, take stock of your activities, your connections, your behavior, your attitudes. Let us take stock of everything. Let's reflect on whether we have been doing our part to contribute to a safer and responsible internet. After all, as individuals, we are also role models to the younger generation. We need to be role modeling qualities that will help add value to them and give them positive growth. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
As part of the activities, the day-to-day Safer Internet Day, what are some of the other activities apart from you coming to the studio? So
we're currently arranging to go out to our schools, and like I mentioned earlier, you may have noticed the minister's press release. So please take some time to read his key message in there, which is very important and emphasizes the key objectives of the campaign as well. Keep an eye out on our social media page on Facebook, the PNG Safer Internet Day Committee page. Keep an eye out on radio, on TV. We will be on as many mediums as possible to disseminate the gospel.
Yeah, the gospel of especially having a safer internet day, but the responsibility, as Madam Andriauga Nongas Itok, starts from you, Yunami. With that, Madam, thank you for being part of our program, taking time to come and talk, especially on this day, being the Safer Internet Day 2024. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you so much.
One voice, one NBC, one future.